Good morning, good morning. Sawadee Tong Chow. How is everybody doing? Today we have a few topics we're going to discuss. Of course, we have the always popular wacky tobacco issue that's going on here. Toilets. We're going to talk about toilets. We're going to talk about taxation on foreigners, which I think is very important. And also we're going to talk about how one UK bank is no longer going to take care of their British customers. So we'll get started in just a minute. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever. Do what you have to do in the beginning. Please, if you like this video, by all means, subscribe, click like, and that way you get all the notifications. Well, that's if YouTube sends them out. I don't know, a lot of people have been telling me they don't get the notifications. I don't know why, but you know, I'll leave that to YouTube. So anyway, good morning everybody. Good morning, good morning. Right now, let's see here, it is 82 degrees, high 89, low of 78, and the feel-like temperature is 89 degrees, 83% humidity, 72 air quality index, and the currency exchange is 36.3. So 36.3 baht to the dollar. So thank you very much, Richard. As always, choke D to you. I know about the big joke issue, and you know, quite frankly, there's a reason why they show up at his doorstep. Tom, how you doing? How's it going? Where are you? Before I get into this though, you know, I will be traveling. I'm leaving on Thursday. I should be streaming again on, I believe, Friday, but maybe it'll be Saturday. I'm not sure. And to be honest, I'm not sure if it's going to be morning or night. I don't know. I'm just not really, it really depends on how things go. Andy, how you doing? Because I'm not sure what I'll be doing, how much time I'll have, and all these kind of things. So, but I will be getting out of Thailand on Thursday. So that's good news for me, for people who want to watch videos and streams. I think it's good news. So anyway, that's what's going on. And leaving Thursday for Amsterdam, Madrid. You know, the last time that I've been to Amsterdam probably 15 times. I can't even see this. Sawadee krap. Okay. Sawadee krap. I've been to Amsterdam probably, I don't know, maybe 12 times, maybe 15 times. But this last time that we went, I could not believe how expensive everything was. But, you know, outside of Southeast Asia, I'm really not up on what's going on around the world, because if I'm not involved in it, it doesn't really affect me. I don't really think about it. But in Amsterdam, when I got there, I was like, man, I can't believe the prices here. It was a lot more expensive than I remember. And I used to go there when it was the guilder. And it was fantastic, because you know, you'd get a beer for a guilder. Somebody would buy a tray of beer and just pay in guilders. There was no euro for that. I like it there, and you know, I just don't know about the pricing right now there. You know what? I don't know about how everything was. We were only there for like a full day, and you know, the food was expensive, the restaurants were expensive. I just remember everything being expensive. You're staying put in Oz until February. Then you go to where? Egypt and Israel, and where else? I can't keep track of everybody, where everybody goes. There's all these people going here and there. But the one thing I wanted to say about Big Joe, I don't think they would go to his house if something wasn't going on with him, if he wasn't involved in something. And the fact that they've come out and he's, he let them come into his house. Originally, he wouldn't let them come in without a warrant. They got the warrant. They went in. I have a hard time believing that he's done absolutely nothing wrong. Now, in Thailand, they may come up with some kind of, I don't want to say some kind of a reason, but they may come up with something that downplays everything, and he's going to stay in the same position. He's a powerful guy, and if he was doing something wrong, I don't think it's going to be that bad, but you never know. And but it does give the perception, like for somebody like me who watches this kind of stuff, and I try to keep up on it a little bit. It does give me the impression that he's done something wrong. They don't just go to your house when you haven't done anything. You're not involved at all. So I do think he's involved. I just don't know if anything's ever going to happen of it. It may just be something small, and they may just not even say anything about it. I don't know. But we shall see soon, because it's an enlarged, expanding case. So, but I do think it's funny that he's how can I say? He's the bastion for, what should I say? Bastion for non-corruptness. What's the word for that? He's incorruptible. I don't know, but I do think it's kind of funny that he comes out in the news. So. But Big Joke is a straight, there you go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He thought he's a straight shooter. He's made a lot of enemies lately with the arrest of other officers. I understand that. And I usually think with something like this, I think what's going to happen is he's either going to get transferred, he's going to he's going to be told, you take your foot off the gas pedal. Because he does have a lot of enemies. And I can tell you that there's a lot of foreigners that don't like him either. We kind of laugh at him, but, I don't really care, because he does, what he does doesn't really affect me, but who knows, maybe it will. Okay, so, I think that's interesting and all that, but pushing for change to retirement visa, so maybe that might go quiet now with a bit of luck. Well, they haven't really said anything lately about it. And, quite frankly, if they make it too difficult and all the foreigners leave, well, then, fine. If you don't want foreigners, then you don't get them. And you don't get the money. You don't get the money that they bring. I can tell you that in 29 years, I've probably spent, let me think here. Let's say if I spent $25,000 a year, that's just a quick estimate. $25,000 a year for, let's say it was 30 years. That's $750,000. It would be, 607, what did I say, 750? $725,000. If I spent $725,000 in the time that I've been here, it's all going into the economy. And I don't know that I spent that much or I spent more. I don't really know. But my point is, when you have thousands of expats living here, and they're all spending, let's say they're all spending the same as me. That maybe they're spending less because they haven't been here as long. Maybe they're spending more because they've been here longer than me. That's a hell of a lot of money that has been spent by foreigners. They need the money. I don't care what they say. They can act like they're up and coming, everything. Listen, I look at this mall and I go, this mall is never going to be high end. I don't ever think it'll be high end. Because the area is not high end. They could go to Cambodia. They could go to Vietnam. Some will go to Vietnam. They could go to Malaysia, Indonesia, or they could go to Ecuador, Portugal. There's plenty of places to live. And, you know, even I thank, my shirt is age appropriate. Oh. Well, I do feel older. I can tell you that. I do. Lately, I've been feeling older, not physically. I feel younger physically, but I feel older mentally. And, you know, I think it's just, I look back and I go, when was that movie made? Oh, 1982. Oh, wow, 41 years ago. It's a long time, you know. I start thinking about things like that and I just go, oh man, I'm getting up there. And the thing is I'll be 61 in how long? 5, 15, 20 days. Well, I think this is the direction we're headed. A lot of countries, they want the money. If you don't have the money, you're not coming here. And I'm not talking about you need to have, you know, $10,000 in the bank, $20,000 in the bank. I think Ecuador is $42,000. And I think that's just like a basic way to do it. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but I just spoke to my buddy and he's there and he's got his, whatever, he's starting on some portion of his retirement there, and he has to, I think he has to stay there, but I'm not sure. Love the collar. Yeah, it's very nice. It's a nice shirt. My wife got it for me. Figures. She likes me to be in collared shirts, you know, and look nice, which I understand. But, you know, I like to, most of the time, because she's not with me or because I'm not in a place where I have to dress great. Nobody cares what I look like in the mall. So if I wear a t-shirt and some shorts and a pair of sandals, it's fine. Anyway, so we were going to talk, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's funny, we got a couple Australians in the stream right now, but there's a girl that she just came out, how long ago? Well, this is 4 days ago. She came out 4 days ago, 72nd birthday, wow. Wow, congratulations. I didn't know you were that old, or that young. It's a long time, but congratulations for making it to 72. Now the goal for you is to make it to 75 and then to make it to 80. But anyway, this girl came out, it's in the news. I don't know how they thought of this subject matter, but she says, I just moved to Australia from Thailand and I have one major complaint about toilets down under. She says that expats who move to Australia struggle to use the toilet. They miss having bidets or bum guns to help them clean up afterwards. May from Thailand recently moved to Queensland and has been struggling to use the toilet without a bidet or a bum gun. That's what they have here generally, is bum guns, not bidets. Some places maybe, but for the most part, it's bum guns, as we all know. The woman claimed that while she loved the change of scenery and seeing all of Australia's hidden travel gems, she often found herself daydreaming about the handy bathroom fixture. I think if she's daydreaming about, if she's daydreaming around about toilets. I don't know, maybe she needs some activities to keep her busy. I love living in Australia, but sometimes all I think about is my bidet, she said in a video. I don't know why they keep using the word bidet. A bidet is not the same as a bum gun, and if she lived in Thailand before she lived in Australia, she was probably not using a bidet. Another Aussie woman, Hannah, also revealed her discomfort after moving back to Melbourne after living in Japan for 3 years. Japan, the king of high-end toilets, great toilets. She says, I couldn't even look at the toilet. Oh, this is this her? Oh, maybe they got this off of Instagram. They made an article about this from her Instagram post. And it's a contentious topic, apparently. Let me see here. Hang on. Okay. All right, I'll look at that later. Let's see. I find it funny that they make a whole article about toilets, and here I am talking about it. I'm a new citizen here, and I need to ask you, born and raised Australians, why you don't use bidets. I can tell you why they don't use them in America. In America, back when they had when they started using bidets more frequently, Americans equated the bidet as only used by prostitutes. And although it isn't true, that prevented the conservative Midwest from installing those. Then on a broader range, I guess it was still the thought of bidets only being used for prostitutes. Even the people on the West Coast, East Coast, they thought it was an inconvenience and you don't need it. And here's what I like. This is what she says. Hear me out. If you step on dog shit barefoot or a bird shits on your arm, you'd wash it off with soap and scrub hard. You wouldn't just wipe it off with some toilet paper. So why? Now, you know, it's not quite as easy as why don't you just switch over to a bidet. The original plumbing technology was all from the UK. Full sewage is still not available countrywide in Australia. Many regional and remote areas rely on septic tanks. My friend who literally lives just out of Sydney still has a septic tank. Bidets would not be an option in some regions for water reasons, as people in the regional areas will only flush when they do number 2. To add to the regional remote point, I grew up in a house just outside of town that used channel water. I don't know what channel water is. I think channel water is like canal water, but correct me if I'm wrong. To flush the toilet, you don't want that anywhere on your skin. Okay. I think that's why you need water processing plants and things like that, but I don't know. Dozens of others shared how using bidets in other countries changed them. It's changed me, I can tell you that right now. When I took my husband to the Philippines and also Vietnam, he came back demanding a bidet. When I went to Ecuador, he had bidets installed in every single bathroom in his house. So he knows that it's important. People think it's super weird and gross. I don't. Until they try one, and it's the best thing ever. I have 3 toilets in my house, and only one has the bidet, so that's the only one we use. I don't know where I'd be without my bidet. Well, you'd be wiping your ass with toilet paper. That's what you'd be doing. She's talking about public toilets, I guess. I don't know. I don't think she is talking about public toilets. I think she's talking about all toilets, or wherever she goes, wherever it may be. You look very polite, which I know is very important for a Thai wife. Well, I am polite. You know, most of the time, I think I'm polite. She's the one who bought me the shirt, so, you know, maybe I should bring this to, maybe I should bring it to where I'm going and wear it just so that she's happy. I don't know. It's literally a 20-minute job to install a bump gun. I know it's not, it's, you know, the only reason that maybe you wouldn't install it is because of the, like, pressure. You don't have enough pressure, or something like, I don't know. I mean, maybe because the water is that comes from wherever you're getting it from is not, I don't know. I mean, how bad can the water be where you can't spray yourself clean? I don't really know. But, you know, I can only think of a couple of reasons why they shouldn't install those, because honestly, to me, it's a game changer. It has been for the entire time I've been here, and for the rest of my life, I can tell you I will never, ever use TP. I don't think we don't even buy toilet paper in our house. We don't even buy it. You know, and our water is down to like 110, 115 baht a month. So, you know, you're talking about $3 for water. And, you know, if you go and get a roll of toilet paper, a couple of rolls of toilet paper, it's going to cost you like $2. You know, so, yeah, I mean, these are the kind of reasons why I understand that you can't have it. I mean, you know, my parents, their water system, they have to do something like, once a month, they have salt dumped into the well. Into this, or septic tank, or whatever it is. I don't remember, but maybe they can't use it. I don't know. And, you know, I don't try to change. I don't want to rock the boat with them because, you know, it's how they do things, fine. The kids, when they when they went back, the last couple of times that we went, they brought water bottles, or they had something that had an end where you could spout on it, so that they could clean themselves. And they always made sure, I mean, even in the airport, we were in the airport, and they had jackets on, and inside of the jacket they had a water bottle, so that they could use the water bottle to clean themselves. So anyway, if you haven't used it already, I would say, by all means, give it a go. You purchased one at Lowe's. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. You can get these things. They're not that much. I mean, I think they're maybe like 40, 50 bucks. And, you know, you may even be able to get a little bit cheaper, but I don't know. But I think about 40, 50 bucks, you can install them, and it'll make your life a lot easier. And people go, well, but your ass is all wet. First, I'll say, it's better that your ass is still wet and not shitty than having a shitty ass that's dry. And secondly, I would say, you know, you learn how to spray yourself, and the water falls off. So you might have a little bit of water, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't, like when you go out of a bathroom, 99% of the time you don't go out and the backside or your underside is all wet. That's not how it works. You're dry. You're fairly dry. So, anyway, I think it's funny that they had this article, and, you know, that she made, that, you know, she's talking about it. I mean, at least, here's the thing. As long as this is going to be a subject that people, they talk about, well, maybe some change will be made eventually. I really think that, why is this not showing up here? I hit it and it goes back to the Daily Mail. Yeah, it doesn't go to where it's supposed to go. Anyway. Oh, this is, I have just moved to Australia and hate that Aussies don't have the toilet. All right, so let's move on from this subject. If you are interested in this, you can easily purchase one online or at your local plumbing place or whatever. So just remember that and take it into consideration. The one other thing, I just wanted to get to this real quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because it's just something you talk about, and you know you're going to have to do what you have to do. But British expats have been warned that Barclays is about to close all their accounts. And this should leave some of their customers unable to access their pensions or savings. British people living overseas would no longer be able to hold a Barclays UK current or savings account. They have 6 months to be able to correct things, and it says wealthy expats reportedly have the option of opening a global account with Barclays, but they need to keep at least £100,000 in the account to avoid a monthly charge of £40 a month. You know, to me, this is just, I think that the world needs to expand. I don't think it needs to contract. I don't think we need all these countries closing their borders or making it more difficult to get in. I don't think that you should just have open borders and people can come in and they can just open a bank account without doing anything. I mean, you have to do your due diligence. But I do think that some of these places, and Barclays, I'm talking about Barclays as well, they don't need to do these kind of things. It's not good for the economy or for people, and it makes it more difficult. Even my bank, which, you know, I had a lot of problems with, they have now said, okay, you know, if you want it, you're going to live overseas, all right, that's no problem. Well, it was for, but now they're just stating it. This guy, he's a professor, David Barker, who moved from London to Australia in 1988. He was shocked when he and his wife received a letter from Barclays in April. He was told they would be able to re-register at their daughter's UK address. However, this week, he received a phone call explaining that the advice he had been given was wrong. I love that when they give you wrong information. And his account would be closed. They seem absolutely determined to get rid of our accounts. We're concerned about the way Barclays is handling it. I couldn't believe that we would get a cold call telling us we would be debanked. Banks are, I think we have some problems with banks, and I think they're going to change in the future. There's going to be less banks. There's going to be less ATMs. I think already there are less ATMs. I told you guys that here in the mall, they don't have one ATM here. Not one. There's not one. It's crazy. They don't have any banks right now in the mall. I mean, how are you supposed to come to a mall and go shopping if you don't have any money, or you can't go to the bank? Or, you know, there's some people that they still do it the old-fashioned way, and, you know, maybe they're going to the ATM or whatever, or maybe they just come with cash. I don't know, but maybe they need some more. So I don't understand all of this, and I don't understand why. Okay, I understand. Give people the option to pay with a scan. I like the scan, but I think what it does is it puts an additional buffer in between you and the vendor, and what that does is it makes it easier for you to pay without considering whatever it costs. So you have the money in the bank and you go, oh, that's $279. I'll get it. Whereas if you were paying in cash or paying with a credit card, even a credit card, I would say if you're paying in cash, you might look at it as, do I really want to pay for this? Whereas when you're scanning it, it's quick, it's easy, it's on your phone, boom, it's done. All right. So that's the thing. Barclays, it says he added the account was on the basis of the family's, was the basis for the family's finances, and that they had to move all money out of their accounts by November 24th. More than 1 million Britons live abroad. The move from Barclays follows similar action by rival banks. In 2021, Lloyd Banking Group told 13,000 expats based in Europe that their accounts in Britain would be closed. Under the changes, people with cash ISAs, don't know what that is, and fixed-rate bonds would be able to keep their accounts if they lived in Slovakia, the Netherlands, Italy, or Estonia. What does that matter? I mean, that's a few places. The same rule applies to loan and mortgage holders. A spokesman for Barclays said, "We will no longer be offering personal or savings account to retail customers with addresses registered with us outside of the United Kingdom." Well, that brings me to a point with America and American banks that I really don't know about, and that is that, I have an address in America. I have one now. But what happens if I just say, I don't need it? Is my bank going to drop me? Well, you don't have an address? Do I need to get a post office box or something like that? Some places won't even allow a post office box. You have to have a physical address. We will no longer be offering current or savings account to retail customers with addresses. Okay, we are contacting impacted customers to give them advance notice of this decision and explain the next steps they need to take. Banks may set their own requirements on country of residence for account holders. This is a big deal, actually. And must comply with local law and regulation while serving customers outside the UK. Now, if you want to open the account, you have an address. Well, I don't think it's a big deal, but some people are like, that's it, I'm leaving. I don't want to live in, I have no ties to the UK, or I have no ties to the United States. I don't have anything here, I don't want anything, I don't need an address. But you do need an address. They make it difficult because they tell you you have to have an address if you want to keep your account. Surprised they care about your address and don't just want your money. I don't know where they're coming from with this, because I think they're going to lose a substantial amount of income. A spokesman for the FCA added, banks may set their own requirements for account holders and must comply with local law and regulation. Okay, whether or not banks decide to extend services to customers outside of the UK is a commercial decision for them. We expect them to treat their customers fairly, comply with equalities legislation, and provide adequate notice to the customers if they decide to close their account. Customers who feel they have had their accounts closed unfairly have the right to complain to the Financial Ombudsman Service. So, yeah, you can complain about it. I don't know if something's going to happen because you complain, but, that's how it is. Yeah, you need Plan B and you need Plan C. Really. I mean, I think I have 5 or 6 banks in Thailand. Then I have 2 banks in America, and one of them has a savings, so it's an extra account. And I don't plan on closing. It doesn't make sense to. I think you really, if you're going to live in Thailand, you really need to have a Thai bank account, and also a bank account in the country where you hail from. And if it's possible, I think you should keep some money in a third country. But that's not always possible. It's very difficult sometimes in some countries to open a bank up. They make it a big deal. I mean, even here, when you want to open a bank account, yeah, okay, I can open my bank account. But you might have to go to 10 different banks, or 5. I'm going to say you may need to go to 5 accounts, or 5 banks to get an account opened up. What's a savings account? I'm sure you know what it is. Are you feeling better from this morning 2 quarters Korean? A little bit? Listen, before I go on, I have to make this statement. Please click the like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the notification bell, because sometimes people don't do that. I don't do it a lot of times. I never get a notice. I have never got a notice. I've never got a notice from YouTube about any account, not one time. And I've clicked the bell before. Okay, well, you seem like you were in a little bit of a pissed off mood. All right, so yeah, do that. Look in the description. Don't forget the super chats. Become a sponsor. Use the Cash App. Buy me a coffee. Go on Patreon. Become a Patreon patron. You can still go to my website and get merch. You can purchase books. You know, you can do all this stuff. And, you know, if you just want to watch once in a while, that's fine. You know, you want to go look at my social media or whatever it is, have at it. Have fun. Everything's down in the description below. So, there you go. I'm still up at the farm, about to light up my morning J. You know, the one thing that with weed that I kind of have a problem with is, and I know this may sound a bit off, but if you're smoking all the time, isn't it a crutch? I mean, you know, it's like if you were to drink all the time, people might think you had a problem. They unsubscribed you. Wow. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that. But, you know, really, when you think about it, it's like, if you're smoking I gotta wake up and have my morning J. It's like coffee. I mean, really, if you think about it, it's kind of like coffee. I gotta have my morning cup of Joe. Well, you gotta, you know, I gotta smoke a doobie this morning. And then, you know, at lunchtime, I'm gonna smoke a doobie after lunch because I like it. It makes me feel better. And then in the evening, you're like, you know, hey, let's party a little bit. You know, so I remember the last time that I smoked, I was thinking that. You know, it's something you. Oh God. Well, I guess if we didn't have to take a dump, we probably wouldn't have buttholes. You know, I mean, you know, like I said, and I've said many times, I don't care about, you know, the whole, should you smoke, shouldn't you smoke? I don't care about that. I think you should be able to smoke whatever you want. And I've smoked plenty of doobies in my life. I was just thinking about it. Oh, you never trust those 2/4 Korean. Yeah, it could be. As long as I don't have work, meetings, or teaching at the hospital, I'll smoke during the day. Nah, Billy, running one out of hand while you're... Oh, God. There's interesting topics here on the channel. Yeah, I saw the whole thing about Russell Brand, and, you know, I think that kind of a situation... you know, I don't know if he was guilty of what he's accused of, but, you know, this is a big thing for me. I really believe in this. If something happens to you in 2000, the year 2000, then I would say within a month, 3 months, you need to accuse the person of whatever happened to you. Give them a year. Okay, I understand that. But 10 years, 20 years, 40 years later, Oh, he did this to me then. He did that to me. To me, it's just something that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be allowed. I mean, it's like everybody wants to sue everybody and accuse everybody, and it's like, well, wait a minute. Smoking cigarettes is definitely a crutch. And fortunately, I never got involved in those. But and so with Russell Brand, Gennaro, where's Gennaro? I don't even see him. I know that he got, he lost some of his sponsors or whatever. He's been canceled, and I don't know why. But like for something like that, it's like, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me. Well, why didn't you say it then? Why didn't you go to the police then? I mean, even a year is a long time. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. I just feel it's first, it's wrong. It's like if you really had something happen to you that was serious, then you need to immediately. No, that is Mr. Billy. Then you need to immediately go to the authorities and take care of it. So then they come back. I don't know when. Let me see something here. I can't remember when it was. Okay. UK police open investigation of sexual offenses against Russell Brand. Okay, let me see when these happened. 2006 and 2013. So 17 years and 10 years. I would think, let's say you give them 3 years, that they could take care of it in 3 years. Oh, I'm just not going to say anything because I really feel hurt and I don't want to put myself out there. Well, then why do you want to do it now? So to me, it makes no sense. So they will try to ruin his life and keep him from making money. That's what I mean. I don't know how, well-funded he is. I would imagine he's got a lot of money, but he's probably, who knows, he might have a big nut to cover. Just because you've made a lot of money doesn't mean you're not, I don't know where he is. I don't know if anything happened to him. I don't know if he just is pissed off because I was giving him a hard time about his language, and I don't know. But I can't. I can't go on from there. If he wants to come back, he can come back. Just don't always be speaking another language. It's just irritating, and it's frustrating to people who are trying to have a conversation in English. All right. So, one of the other things that people have been talking about is the fact that the Thai government, let me just get this situated here, the fact that the Thai government is considering taxing expats. Now, I've always been under the impression that because I'm an American, the United States can tax me and then I don't have to pay Thailand. And that if I earned money in Thailand, I don't have to pay the United States. So I'm not sure how they get around the treaty And I believe there are several countries. Okay, Andy, take it easy. So I don't really know. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Now, I will tell you what I think. I don't think anything's going to change, because this has been a law that has been in place for quite some time, and that's what some people don't know. The fear that retirees and other non-working expats are about to be taxed on their overseas pension income has created a field day for internet warriors, clickbaiters, and nervous long-term visa holders. But calmer reality suggests it may be premature to start packing your bags in utter disgust. This is the thing. When I get my Social Security, whenever it may be, and I have that money coming in, I can have the money put right into Wise, into a U.S. account. I can transfer it to another account, a different currency if I want. But let's say that I just use a dollar account. Now, what I could do if I really wanted is I could get an ATM card, a debit card that is attached to that account. Now, how are they going to know that I'm making money? Well, you know, then they're going to have to look at everybody's financial records, not just money in the bank. So I don't really think that, you know, and then if I wanted, I could just use a debit card or a credit card, whatever, a debit card, to withdraw money from whatever account I have in the United States. Now, did I earn that money, you know, somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be able to do, and I just don't think that they're going to get away with it. Hopefully it won't apply to Americans due to previous treaties, right? I understand going after Thais overseas earning. Yeah, exactly. But don't mess with expat money, especially retirement money, etc. Now imagine that I'm getting Social Security and they decide they're going to tax me 20%. Why would I give away 20% to them? It's to me that it's not justifiable. What do they give me? Oh, well, you get to live here. I get to live here anyway. This place is starting to open up. So I don't know where they're coming from, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. I don't think it's going to happen. The Thai Revenue Department has recently stipulated that from the next calendar year, earned income from overseas will be liable for personal income tax for those Thais or foreigners spending up to 180 days a year in the country. This, is in fact an old revenue rule that has been updated to close the loophole in which those liable delayed transferring their income until a later year. Does anyone know what the Thai income rate is? Yeah, there's a standard rate. It's 5%, 10%. I don't know if there's a 15%, but there's 20%. It just goes up. I can tell you, let me see here. It's 5% for those who make $150,000 to $300,000 a year. It's 10%. Hang on a second. It's 10%, $300,000 to $500,000 a year. 15%, $500,000 to $750,000. 20% for $750,000 to $1 million baht. $1 million baht to $2 million baht, 25%. $2 million to $5 million, 30%, and $5 million baht and over, 35%, which is a lot. I mean, you know, you figure if you're making, you know, 500,000 is what? Something's going on over here. If we just say, you know, $1 million baht is, how much would $1 million baht be? I'm blanking right now. Let's say that it was what would it be here? $1 million baht, it would be let's say it would be 26,000. All right, 5 million and over. You know, you're looking at, man, you're looking at like 2 million. Is that 2 million? No, it can't be 2 million. Let me see here. Man, my eyes are just horrible. 30% would be 1.5. So why would you pay that kind of money to the government that you're not even earning and you're not even a citizen? I just don't see how it'll work. The allowances, deductible expenses for income, 50% of income capped at 100,000. Personal allowance, 60,000. Spouses with no income, 60,000. Children under 20, regardless of whether he is studying, 30,000. Second child born from 2018 onwards, 60,000. Health insurance premiums paid by the taxpayers. Amount actually paid, but not exceeding 25,000. Life insurance premiums paid by the taxpayer. Providence fund contributions up to a maximum of 500,000 baht, but not exceeding 15,000. You know, my wife has a Providence fund, and you know, it's a good thing, I guess. Retirement mutual fund. Okay, so home mortgage interest, amount actually paid but not exceeding 100,000. Social Security fund, Providence funds. Okay. All right, so that's about it for right now. They can't tax my money. Did they tax your OnlyFans money, Billy? Oh, God. I don't want to think about that. That's not the kind of thought that I like to hear. To pay your personal income tax, you need a tax identification number issued by the Revenue Department. Without that, there can be no income tax liability, and one assumes most foreign retirees have never heard of a TIN and certainly haven't got one. The latest move is clearly aimed at currency traders who involved in stock market trading and anyone holding earned foreign income in an offshore account for over 12 months to avoid tax. They have always been the target. Yeah, the offshore thing, yeah, I don't know how these people are going to go after them. Not like, if they want to go after Thais, I understand how they can do it. But if they want to go after expats, I just can't see them. I can't see them working it out, to be honest. It says here, the issue is whether or not the Revenue Department has now extended the residence rule 180 days a year to include permanent sun worshipers, expats married or with families to support, adult students learning Thai, and a diverse assembly of pensioners in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Thai law and financial regulations are often kept deliberately vague. No surprise there. Let's see here. And the 100 words of the Thai language devoted to the subject in question in the latest revenue announcement certainly don't provide a definitive answer, nor do the translations in English provided on social media. The new ruling has nothing whatsoever to do with your visa, which is irrelevant to tax status. I understand that. Let's take a simple example. Those holding an elite visa or annual retirement extension might or might not spend more than 6 months a year in Thailand. Well, I do spend more than 6 months. There is evidence that many Chinese holders of the elite visa regularly come in and out of Thailand but do not clock up to 180 days per annum. On the other hand, a tourist, Brit, or an American could easily reach 180 days by entering the country by air several times via the 30 days visa exempt rule, extending at immigration and making an occasional visa run. Okay, so let me see. Now Thailand wants to give me all the benefits Thais get, then tax me, I guess, but that isn't what I'm getting. Well, that's exactly it. Why would you? What are expats who pay taxes here? What are they going to get? Are they going to get the same thing as Thais? Probably not. Now, I will tell you that my friend who lives in Cambodia, he's coming back in, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And the reason he's coming back is so that he can get his money for, I think it's is it his Providence Fund? No, I think it's, I can't remember what it is exactly. It might be the Providence Fund. But he has to be in Thailand in order to continue to receive those funds. He needs to be in Thailand. So he's going to come back. He's going to go into the office. Yes, I'm here. Can I have my money, please? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then he gets his money. If he doesn't come back to Thailand, they just stop giving it to him. And you know, this is the kind of thing. It's like, you know, if you're going to get money in America, the UK, Australia, wherever it is, you're going to get money from the government for a pension, for Social Security, whatever. They should not say to you, well, you're only going to get it if you're living in the country. Because when you originally started working and started putting money into that, there was no rule that said you need to live in the country in order to collect. There was no rule. So for them to change it, I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, let me go on here. Continue. Many active on social media are advising panicky expats to wait for a broader explanation from the Revenue Department. That's what I would recommend. Fine, except that there may never be one. Okay, well then, you know, I don't see them passing this. If the sole purpose is to catch those TIN holders who have delayed their sending their income to Thailand, then there's nothing more to say. But if there is a real attempt to punish financially all expats, as suggested, one can only imagine the bureaucratic chaos, daily huge queues at revenue offices, with too few staff to cope and knowing nothing about double taxation treaties, and the total collapse of international financial confidence. Within days, a Thai general would appear on the TV accompanied by somber military music to explain why tanks were in the streets of Bangkok. Apologies for the inconvenience. You know, that's exactly why I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't know how they can do it. I mean, you know, they're trying to get the money out of the people, your own people. Stop worrying about me. Does that mean that if you're taxing me, I don't have to pay 10 times the amount when I go into a popular tourist destination? You know, I mean, really, they have all these things to think about. And I think, to be honest, I think it's overloading their brain and they're not going to be able to come up with a solution. So they just drop it. And I think that happens a lot. And like I said, and I've said in the past, sometimes they throw something on the wall to see if it'll stick. And, you know, they throw 20 things up on the wall and only one of them sticks. So they decide after that, oh, well, you know, we'll just do this one thing and that's it. All right, so now let's get to the meaty conversation, the very interesting conversation, and that is the conversation about ganja. You know, I got an age restriction on the last video I did about weed. They put in, you can't collect all the money, it's age restricted, only people over 18. Okay, I understand that. But they limited the revenue because I used the word, and because I'm talking about marijuana. Even though I'm talking about the laws, I'm not talking about any kind of use. What are they doing over here? They're all busy tapping away over here. All right, so Thailand's 6,000 ganja shops could now be under threat. In a surprise move, the Thai Prime Minister revealed in an interview in New York that smoking pot for leisure needs to be outlawed once again. Srettha Thavisin told Bloomberg Television that the law needs to be rewritten to regulate ganja for medical use only. There cannot be a middle ground for recreational use. All right, so if you just stop right there, you go, oh, wow. What are we going to do? Now, what I've seen is that what they'll do is they'll say, when you go to a marijuana shop or when you go into a place, they're gonna have a paper, and it's gonna say something like, the reason for your marijuana use, bad neck, pinched nerve, and you can just write it in, and they'll go, okay, we have it on file. That may be what happens. Following the declassification of marijuana as a narcotic last year, 6,000 dispensaries have opened nationwide, with most of them not bothering to hide their sales. All right, is this the one that I wanted to read? Okay, another ambiguity is whether all the groups in the current 11-party coalition will agree on one common policy. No, they won't. This may go on for years. It will likely take up to a year for a new law to appear in the statute book. The expected clauses will emphasize protection of children, I understand, and will likely detail new rules for Thai farmers growing cannabis for sale after registration. There will likely, too, be a ban on smoking cafes. Okay, well, you're not supposed to really smoke it, except in the privacy of your own home or somebody else's home. I mean, that's the way that I always thought that it was, but then I find out, no, you can go into this place and you just chill out, and they got a couple of rooms, you go sit in this room and you toke away at your leisure. Or you can be like Fire Dude, and whenever he wants to, he just sparks it up, I'm assuming in his home. Nobody's gonna bother him. There will likely be a ban on smoking cafes and promotional slogans such as "Have a high time here," "Come to the stairs with us," or "Come to the stars with us." But it will still be far from clear that the selling, purchase, and use of marijuana by the public at large will once again automatically attract a prison sentence. That's just wrong. Really, I believe that strongly. I don't believe that putting people in jail for any kind of use. Now, I understand if they catch you with 40 pounds or something like that. I understand. But other than that, why would you have to do that? There are many things endangering kinds of Thailand. Mary Jane isn't one of them. Well, when it comes to the kids, like I've said, some kid comes in, let's say that he's 12 years old. Hey, get out of here. You're not allowed to be here. If they're 17 and they come in, you got to look at his ID. Nope, sorry, get out. Let me see something here. Yeah, here it says weed legalization in a major U-turn, blah, 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 blah. What I would say about this is this reminds me of Seinfeld. Thailand has decided in a crazy move, they've decided to legalize marijuana. But now, Thailand has said we have to create new rules to protect everybody, and yada, yada, yada. So they don't give you any context. They don't give you any further information. It's just yada, yada, yada. That's what you get. You get the yada, yada, yada. Let me see here. Legal vacuum, blah, blah, blah. Some tourism operators have welcomed the move to curb its use, citing problems caused by loose industry regulation. Let's just be clear about it. They can use all the terminology they want. They can say whatever they want. They rushed into this. And they legalized everything. And now they're in a position where they have their foot in their mouth. Because they realize, oh, we might have made a mistake. Now we have to backtrack. Oh, I guess they work at this car dealer is what they're doing. You know, there's a, hang on, you can see here, oops, hang on. What's going on here? Why is it all blurry? There you go, that's a little better. They've got this whole row. Look over here. There are dozens of Russell brands. Female comedians say abuse is rife. Really, you know, I'm kind of disgusted by this, to be honest. All right, what's going on with my internet here? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but everything just shut off. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Well, now I can't pull that up, so I'm kind of in a position here. Hang on a second, let me see. If they care about kids, get with ASEAN or whatever to subsidize farmers to have the necessary equipment so they don't have to burn their crops every year, causing damage to kids' lungs and shortening lives. Yes. You know, that is the one reason why I really don't want to live up in the north. It's because of the burning that goes on there. That's enough to stop me from living there. I mean, you know, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. My, what do you call it? The link just went down here, so I have no internet on my phone. I mean, on my computer. Anyway, I got the phone. So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on with the weed. Anyone older than 20 who is not pregnant or breastfeeding is legally allowed to use cannabis within their residences, and food containing its extracts can be consumed inside licensed restaurants. In many Asian countries, the use and possession of cannabis carries heavy penalties and jail times, with Singapore penalizing offenders with the death penalty. To me, that's just stupid. Give me the justification for giving people who are involved with weed for some reason. Give me the justification to kill them. It makes absolutely no sense to me. What is going on with this thing? Wow, pretty wild. I thought I had everything under control here with the connection. You know, I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about. I know about, you know, with the cannabis. I understand. You know, it is what it is, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But when it comes to Russell Brand, that's a different story, because anytime someone comes out 17 years later, 10 years later, they come out, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me. Doesn't anybody get suspicious about this? 17 years later. Well, why did it take 17 years? It's just... the easy way is to say it's wrong. If he was guilty, then, and they come out with something, you would think it would be before 17 years. If he's not guilty, they shouldn't come out at all and say anything about him. But if they're going to try to take him to court and get his money, why? It's like they just wait for the opportunity. And that's what really burns me up here. Yeah, I need my internet. What's going on? Let me see if I can get this hooked up here. No, I can't. I can't do that. I cannot fix it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with this. It gives me one option, connect with the iPhone. Well, that's not the one. Son of a bitch, I can't even look at it on this. Let's see. Same reason Big Joke was in news. Too powerful, talks too much. Yeah, and you know, the thing is that Russell Brand is a fairly intelligent guy. He's no dummy. And he says things that rub people the wrong way. And because of that, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna take away everything from, I mean, you know, like, where did this come from? I don't even know what to say. I mean, you know, like, this is why it's really bad that it's happened to him. And, you know, I'm really, if he is guilty of anything, then, hey, I'm sorry for the, you know, for this to happen and for the actions that he did with these women, what he did with the women. I'm sorry for that. However, I would say, why didn't you say something sooner? Why are you going to wait almost 20 years to throw the book at him? To me, it makes absolutely no sense. You cannot give me a reason. Well, back then I was young and I didn't know if I should do anything and I was scared. And okay, but you know, this is the thing. If men are scared, they gotta handle it. If they don't handle it, then they're a wuss. So you're a woman and you don't handle it because you're scared. What does that make you? Anyway. Let me see here. I don't know what's going on with my internet here. That's not good. Anyway, I can't connect. I can't connect up to the internet on my computer. But and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my phone is still working right because it's hard for me to tell. And I've lost some subscribers since I said, you know, my computer is not hooked up, my phone is connected to it, it's not working. So whatever the reason, I guess I should just leave it at this. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. This is the whole thing. This is Thailand. This is Thailand in general. Somebody says something, and you wait and see. It's not just here are the guidelines. Boom, 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 and then everything's done. No, that's not how it works. You know, you can sit down wherever you want. Sit down wherever you want. They never, I'll be done in a couple minutes. They never, that's not how they operate here. They operate slowly. Oh, let's release all the information, then we'll think about it. Then they think about it. Oh, well, we made a mistake, but you know, it's for the better. And then they go on. And they go on. Well, we made this mistake. Oh, we got to clear that. Oh, we're not sure about it. And then some things just die. What's going on with the 300 baht, what is it, entry fee? What's going on with that? You know how long they've been talking about this? And they haven't done anything. I thought it was supposed to happen. I don't know, is it in play right now? Do you know anything about that? The 300 baht thing?
Not the 4 baht.
Yeah. So, the flip-flop, which is what I say, and this is what the Thai government is known for. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. That's what they do. Because he wasn't popular with a stage to talk negatively about certain groups in power. You can be popular and rich, a detriment to yourself, but not to people in positions of power. Yes, that's true. And although unfortunate, you know, I think these things are, you know, I think it was Joe Rogan who said, countries that are in trouble, generally they have problems about gender. They have that problem where they misgender people and there's all these gender issues. But also, you have problems like this. People are not allowed to speak. And if you do speak, oh yeah, you're allowed to speak, you can speak, but we're going to cancel you. I mean, look what they tried to do when ordinary people screwed hedge fund billionaires without any grease in the buns out of millions of people with retail people in stock. Yeah, that's another example. What is going on with this? I don't know. Something's going on with my computer. Or, you know, I don't know what it is, but I got a problem here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's too much, and that's why, like, the one piece of advice that I would give to people is if you are going to come here, fly under the radar. I don't care how wealthy you are. If you're rich, never let anybody know. Don't tell people how much money you really have. If you are spending a certain amount, be careful about what you spend it on. Because what will happen is eventually people start to notice, and then you're in trouble. Because I know quite a few people who they started spending money, they started spending too much money, they were spending a lot of money, and people took notice, and next thing you know, there were cops showing up at his door, and he had to give payoffs. And that doesn't surprise me. So what I would say is fly under the radar. Do what you can to not let people know what you have. Don't get, you know, if you start driving around in a Ferrari, people are going to notice. You know, you pay for, you build a house and it's, you know, 500 million baht, people are going to notice. So my point is, keep it in check. This is not the place where you flaunt your money. It's not where you show, oh, I've got all this, I'm so rich here. That's not what you do here. Anyway, you know what? I think it's time to go here because I'm not really. I got 2 quarters Korean here commenting. There's a few other people, but generally, I think the stream is dead. And so with that, I'm gonna say farewell. But Friday or Saturday, I'll put something up. Probably today, I'll put something up when I'm going to stream the next time. I'll stream Friday or Saturday, I believe. You know, the thing is, I want to keep it on a schedule, and generally it's Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, something like that. I'd like to stay with that if I can, but because I'm traveling, we'll have to see, and I'll have to see what transpires so that I know if I can be here and I can stream with all you guys. So that's really all I have. I'm sorry that the internet went out because it's causing me some problems here. Yeah. Anyway, so I shall see you guys later. Thank you very much. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok Di Leo Jerkan Mai. That's good luck and see you later. Yeah. All right. Hasta la vista, baby.